Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I see that you are already present. My apologies for the delay. I was having some issues with my printer. It's like the fourth time I use it, so still not quite used to it. We came prepared today. I have a file of 10 pages that we're going to go over tonight. Hopefully, a lot of what I expose tonight will connect with a lot of you, especially if you still have the idea or the notion or the hope that Mr. Elon Musk is here to save the day. Uh, Please let me know if you can hear me properly, so we can start. I'm checking the live chat just to get a confirmation that our sound is proper. Okay. Well, I don't see anybody confirming. So let me play you a couple of videos to start the stream and to give a bit more of time for more folks to arrive. And the first one I'm going to show you is from former UFC champ Bryce Mitchell. He had something very interesting to say about Mr. Elon Musk. And following that, I want to show you a video that you may or may not have seen yet. A video that I published a couple months ago, 3 months ago, probably. I think it was early December, late November, called The Initiation Well, which exposes, is a blind item I wrote based on testimony from witnesses here on Portugal. Um, Weird. Premium users. Oh, the chat seems to be restricted on Rumble. That's not good. All of you should be able to write there. I don't like that change by by Rumble at all. That's very Elon Musk like, actually. Not looking good for Mr. Pavlovsky, the CEO of Rumble. So without further ado, I'll leave you with these two videos, and in the meantime, I'll go and heat up my coffee because I didn't have time to do that. And so here we start. Let me share my screen. Okay. And let me mute myself so you don't hear any echoes. Mm.
You've been critical of Elon Musk. How do you feel about his involvement with the Doge?
Well, I think that time will prove me correct. Time will always reveal someone's true character, and if you put that man in a position of power, his true character will be revealed. And let's just put it this way. He has all the money in this country. He's the wealthiest man in the country, and he wasted on fucking rockets, man. Think about it, dude. He could actually help people with that money, but he don't give a shit about you. He's got all the money in the world to help you. It'd be a penny to him, and you would never have to work again. He don't give a shit about you, though. He wants to waste it on rockets and waste it on all these cars that suck. And time will reveal the character of that man. And the more he gets under the spotlight, you can't fake it forever. His character will be revealed, and you mark my words, it will be seen that he is a rat bastard. And, if I had all that money, I would like to think I would help people more than he does.
I was just a young bouncer on my mama's knee. She said there's only one thing to set your soul free. Wasn't no easy street where I come from. There wasn't no sleep until the work was done. Papa was a preaching about the fires of hell. If you wanna drink of water, got to go to the well. The Cornerstone Church trying to curse my soul, but the good Lord give me that rock and roll.
This A-list tech mogul, a figure of fascination due to his frequent interactions with the entertainment industry, has a darker side. His recent acquisition of a social media platform has painted him as a man of the people, but the reality is far from it. Since 2019, this celebrity billionaire has been engaging in unethical behavior, instructing his most trusted employees to hack into the cameras of the electric vehicles he sells. His voyeuristic tendencies extend to celebrities, with several videos of them engaging in sex and drug use. He could blackmail several of them if he wanted. Perhaps he does. Forget about your privacy if you use his social media platform. He has real-time access to all your data. Back in July, the tech mogul flew in his private jet with his 3-year-old son to one of the most beautiful countries in Europe. Trending in the last years due to the quality of life and affordability. Despite landing at an airfield full of journalists, no pictures or videos were allowed. So reports on his visit are scarce. While there, he stated his intentions to purchase a house in the Mediterranean nation and even left a representative there to aid him in his quest for the perfect property. Not only did he meet with the local political leaders, but he also had time to visit one of the most mystical cities in the world. A major tourist destination famed for its picturesqueness, the municipality has several historic palaces, castles, scenic beaches, parks, and gardens. One of the palaces has its roots deep into the occult, as the property is riddled with all kinds of symbols and sigils belonging to the Knights Templar, Freemasonry, and Rosicrucianism. The original owner was very wealthy and influential back then. As a Knights Templar, he hosted occult rituals at the property for the European elites. The palace includes a chapel and a luxurious park with lakes, grottos, wells, fountains, and many exquisite constructions. The property also contains an extensive system of tunnels with multiple entry points, the grotto, the chapel, lakes, and caves. These tunnels are rumored to connect to other municipal palaces and properties. Occult rituals performed by hooded figures are spotted in the area quite often, including in the woods next to the palace. More disturbing is the initiation well, which connects the tunnels via underground walkways. Of the two wells, the larger one contains a 27-meter spiral staircase with 23 small niches on the side. The 9 flights of stairs are representative of the 9 founders of the Knights Templar. They might also symbolize the 9 levels of hell from Dante's Inferno. At the bottom of the well is an inland stone compass with the Templar cross. Pentagrams abound on location as well. One of the locals confessed to seeing the celebrity billionaire's entrance.
Welcome. Welcome to the Wee Robot Party. So we have quite a show for you tonight. I think you're gonna like it. As you can see, I just arrived in the Robotaxi, the cybercab, and there's 20 more where that came from. So they've been traveling. There's no people in them, as you can see. The car's just going by with no people. And we have 50 fully autonomous cars here tonight. So you'll see Model Ys and the cyber cab. All driverless. You'll be able to take a ride in the cybercab. There's no steering wheel or pedals. So I hope this goes well. I think the cost of autonomous transport will be so low that you can think of it like individualized mass transit. The average cost of a bus per mile for a city, not the ticket price because that is subsidized, but the average price is about $1 a mile. Whereas the cost of cybercab, we think probably over time, for the operating cost is probably going to be around 20 cents a mile. And price, including taxes and everything else, probably ends up being 30 or 40 cents a mile. So yes, and you will be able to buy one. Yes, exactly. And we expect the cost to be below $30,000. We do expect actually to start fully autonomous, unsupervised FSD in Texas and California next year. That's with the Model 3 and Model Y. And then we expect to be in production with the cybercab, which is really highly optimized for autonomous transport in probably, well, I tend to be a little optimistic with timeframes, but in 2026. So, yeah, before 2027, let me put it that way. When you get in, you'll see like it's really quite a wild experience to just be in a car with no steering wheel, no pedals, no controls, and it feels great. Something we're also doing is, and it's really high time we did this, is inductive charging. So the Robotaxi has no plug. It just goes over the inductive charger and charges. So, yeah. It's kind of how it should be. Oh, and also, what happens if you need a vehicle that is bigger than a Model Y? The Robovan. The Robovan is this is we're going to make this, and it's going to look like that. Now, can you imagine going down the streets and you see this coming towards you? That'd be sick. So this can carry up to 20 people, and it can also transport goods. So you can configure it for goods transport within a city, or transport of up to 20 people at a time. So this is gonna, the Robovan is what's gonna solve for high density. So if you want to take a sports team somewhere, or you're looking to really get the cost of travel down to, I don't know, 5-10 cents a mile, then you can use the Robovan. Some people call it the Robovan, but speaking of robots, so everything we've developed for our cars, the batteries, power electronics, the advanced motors, gearboxes, the software, the AI inference computer, it all actually applies to a humanoid robot. So the same techniques, it's just a robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started with someone in a robot suit, sort of dead, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. And I think at scale, this would cost something like, I don't know, $20,000, $30,000. Probably less than a car is my prediction long term. Now, it'll take us a minute to get to the long term, but fundamentally at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It'll be able to do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks, whatever you can think of. It will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind.
There you go. Now let's see.
What the hell?
That's for later. Okay, the podcast that I have prepared for you guys today is a mixture of old things and new things, because with Elon Musk you cannot just narrow it down. You need to go all in, and well, that's one thing I'm never gonna buy, that's for sure. A robot, that's freaking creepy. I'm gonna try not to curse just in case YouTube gets dodgy. I'm not gonna use anything that can be pointed at copyright infringement and those things that I stupidly overlooked in the past. Some of you have been following my channels for a while now, and as most of you probably know, I used to write films for Good Lion Films ages ago, 2 years ago. I basically wrote, it was 5 Pervywood films, and the 2 that Nick published about Elon Musk, I wrote. So some of the things that I'm going to expose today are included in those scripts, I tweaked a few things that obviously have been updated 2 years after. The first Elon Musk film that I wrote for Nick was in late 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And the second one was like February 2023, something like that. We're gonna go to the past, and then we're gonna jump to the current timeline to review what's currently happening on Twitter, or now known as X, something I'm enjoying thoroughly because, my friends, the situation is concerning. A lot of people seem to think that Elon Musk is some kind of savior for humankind when nothing he has done so far, except buying Twitter, has pointed to him having any good intentions. And with the current developments, he seems to have wiped that out completely, going back to censorship, going back to tweaking algorithms, all the while insulting worldwide conservatives, not just Americans. This is an offense for everyone worldwide who cares about freedom, especially freedom of speech. And this is why the perfect timing to do this is now. Because a lot of you that have been believing that Elon is a good guy might be more open today to listen to what I have to say. Whereas if I came to you 5 months ago, you would just not pay any attention at all and probably think that I'm control position, that I'm carrying on a psyop against Elon Musk for whatever reason. There's no personal vendettas here. Not with Elon Musk, certainly. Someone I've never met. However, anybody, be as it may, on the left wing or the right wing, who presents a threat to freedom and who imposes censorship can be called an enemy of mine. So, let's start with Elon Musk. The mask is slipping. I've been exposing this guy since day one. I never, ever, ever, you can go back in time since I started doing this back in 2018. I've never claimed Elon is one of the good guys. I never said Elon is a white hat. I just don't do those things. Why? Because it always ends up being a mistake. At least so far. I never trusted him. I never liked him. Um, and I couldn't agree more with the first video I showed you about Bryce Mitchell saying that this guy, time will tell, certainly. It's not me. I'm not the judge, jury, executioner here. Time will tell. At first, Elon was warning us about artificial intelligence. Some of you might remember his podcast appearance on Joe Rogan's. I believe this was 2019, 2018 or 2019. And he was warning us about how dangerous this advancement was and is. Fast forward to today, he's leading the charge in the AI department, already testing brain chips from his Neuralink company in humans, which is something that we just don't need. No matter how thirsty we are for new technology, I assure you, brain chips, it's something we just don't need. Some people might argue that, well, this might help blind people to see again, deaf people to hear again, disabled folks to walk again, which would go, in line with Revelation as far as an antichrist or antichrists performing mock miracles via technology. Of course, the only one who performs real miracles is the King of Kings, Jesus Christ. And we can agree to disagree. I have no problem with people who think differently. The problem is when these people who are not that well researched come disrespectful to our platforms to tell us what is what, to act with an air of supremacy because we are not awake enough or informed enough, and that once we open our eyes, we will see the comes and the signs, and we will be saved by good old Elon Musk and his friends. Today is all about Elon, his family, his close associates like Peter Thiel, and his Jeffrey Epstein connections. Yes, because there's plenty to go around about that. I happen to have in my possession this great book by renowned journalist Whitney Webb, who some argue is also control opposition. Now, I cannot put my hands on the fire for nobody, only for me, for myself. We have come to that point where I just simply cannot say or discern who is truthful and who's a liar. There are clear exceptions for me. For example, our friend who is here on the chat, who I happen to see most of his videos, Dibu Masan. This is a guy that has been exposing the QAnon grift for months. A similar experience as mine, you could say, because he used to work with a guy that is a Q grifter. I used to work with a guy that is a Q grifter. And luckily, we were able to get out of it. Not everyone has the same luck, and not everyone has the same strength. Now, it's not about me being better than you or being stronger than you. I guess it comes down to I just don't give an F anymore. It comes down to I don't care about politics anymore. I don't care about being popular. I don't care about likes. I don't care about any of that. Of course, the most people that can reach my work, the better. But I'm not going to compromise the truth for that. So it has become an infiltrated popularity contest. Um, let me check here. Righteous anger. Righteous anger is a big deal. Sometimes I feel like getting depressed. Sometimes I feel like, man, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to go put my hand underground and forget that I ever did this. Why? Because sometimes it's just sad. It's defeating to see that our fellow Americans, our fellow truthers, our fellow patriots are being deceived constantly to the point of idolizing these people. I recommend this book. It's called One Nation Under Blackmail by Whitney Webb. It's 2 books. It's a thick book full of facts. And this is what actual research and actual exposés should be based on. Not crazy theories, not hopium and wishful thinking. So let's continue. Come on, struggler, chill down, man. Let me take my time. So, right now, we have that Elon Musk casually is involved, is somehow related to every single racket pertaining to Agenda 2030. And we're going to discuss every single company Elon Musk is involved in to prove what I'm saying. Yet some people claim he's here to save us. From what? His mother? A sorcerer? A black magic witch? A demon worshipping I don't know. She even appears on videos by Beyonce. You know what Beyonce has been doing with Jay Z and Diddy and all those people? You should know. His father, Elon's father, is an ancestral former blood diamond merchant. That's a nice talk, I would say. Now, his Canadian grandpa was fully involved in the rise of socialism over there. What gives? Moreover, now he wants to flood America with Hindus. Ain't that nice? Europe is already flooded with them. The situation is dire here in Portugal, where I live. I happen to live in a small village in the south of Portugal because I hate the big cities. The big cities you cannot live any longer, especially here in Europe. Paris, London, Madrid, Lisbon, Amsterdam, Brussels, Rome, all gone to hell. So my wife and I made the healthy and wonderful decision to move out. Still, we're not exempt of witnessing unsavory things, especially when it comes to these third world enrichers that come to our country for financial gain, because here not only they can get good jobs, but they get handouts, the taxpayers' money that instead of going to our pensions goes to fill the pockets of these financial refugees, because they're not true refugees in the true sense of the word. They don't come here because they're being prosecuted over there. They come here because here it's easier to make it, because Europe has built a system for people to live comfortably, a system that is now being destroyed on purpose. So let me tell you the little and brief experience I had recently with these Hindus here in the region of Alentejo in Portugal. I happen to go shopping. I do the groceries at my home, at my place. You know, my wife and I divide the chores. I take out the trash and I go do the groceries. It's like the big supermarket is like 4 blocks away. So it's a healthy walk for me to do twice a week. Sometimes I get sent more than that because we forget to buy some things and I need to go 3 or 4 times. But I do it. It's good exercise. So there's a skate park with little ramps next to the supermarket. And I've noticed, well, first of all, you go to that supermarket, it's full of gypsies, Hindus, and all of these people. I'm not saying all of them are bad, but most of them you cannot trust. Let me put it that way. I'm not going to go overboard. I don't want to get penalized on YouTube. I think I already have 2 strikes, so I got to take it easy today. That's why I also stopped live streaming for a month. So I go there to do my groceries, and I see this girl. She's probably 13 years old, rollerblading in the skate park by herself. No problem, all good. I said, okay. Well, I'm always aware of my surroundings. I like to do that. I'm in a constant state of alert, and that has prevented several situations. When I came out, as I usually do, carrying 4, 5 bags, probably like 50 kilos of BS that I don't need. Um, I noticed that the same girl is just sitting on the bench with a distraught look to her face. And well, I wonder what I said to myself, who knows what happened? She looked happy. Well, I continue walking and I notice an Indian laying laying on his back on one of the ramps at the skate park. Listen, I'm not stupid. I know exactly what happened there. The kid was rollerblading, and this sexual deviant, because they love going after underage girls, and that's no secret. probably laid down there and started to strike conversation, hoping for some kind of opening to abuse the girl. Now, in my current state in this country, where I'm on lists, where I'm on surveillance by intelligence, where I have messed personally with intelligence agents here in this country. I don't have a citizenship yet because I've been married to my wife for 2 years and a half, and I'm supposed to get my passport, my Portuguese passport, after the third year. So I have to be on my best behavior. Always, but mostly now. So obviously my blood is boiling and I'm thinking, hell, I'm gonna I'm just gonna drop these bags and gonna kick this guy's ass and throw him out of the park. Well, I didn't do it. And I felt like a chicken shit for weeks. I told my wife, I said I still feel bad about it. I should have done something. Because this stuff cannot keep happening to our kids. And even though I'm still a guest here, I feel responsible for protecting children everywhere. So fast forward a month, and they tell me 3 or 4 Hindus were deported by the National Guard exactly in that park because they were harassing and abusing underage girls. So I wasn't wrong. I don't know if that guy was one of the deported fellas, but this is what happened. So you can call me a racist, you can call me a realist, it depends on you. I'm just gonna say that there's a reason for, um, let's say, reputation. There's stories behind people's reputations, and that includes colors, nationalities, religions, and breeds. If you don't want to believe that, you don't want to believe in reality, that's your choice. But this is what Elon Musk wants to import, along with his friend, what's his name? This guy that stole all the speeches from Barack Obama. He's so meaningless. I forget his name. Rasmawani or something like that. I don't know. He's been close to Elon Musk during the last months. They're supposed to both be involved with DOSH, the Department of Government Efficiency, right? So it's a disgrace. It's a disgrace, and at some point we're gonna put an end to it. Be it as it may, with the help of the system or without it. Now, rant over. Let's continue. America first means American workers first. Europe first means European workers first, not money first. Okay? Now, in starting from the beginning, uh, despite many red flags, Elon Musk, the entrepreneur who has seduced the conservative movement, has been in vogue lately for the last 2-3 years. He seems to be having the time of his life. I'm harmed by the attacks coming from the media, the liberals, and even puppet President Joe Biden, who is about to leave office. Thank God. When Musk decided to purchase Twitter, claiming he wanted to make the world a better place by restoring free speech on the platform, he gained the admiration of conservatives and the hate of liberals almost in equal measure. When this happened, I said to myself, well, I'm just going to see where this goes. I'm not going to get my hopes high. I'm going to see if they unban my account because my account was banned since J6. So the second they banned Donald Trump, I got banned. So, that was a setup as well, just like J6. The so-called world's richest man spent nearly $44 billion on the social media big tech company, but not without help. That's a misconception. A lot of people seem to think Yeah, he did it all by himself. And that's usually not how it goes. A group of banks, including Morgan Stanley and Bank of America, signed signed a loan to Elon Musk for $12.5 billion to complete the transaction. This is not the first time the entrepreneur has received a little push to reach his goals and gain more power. According to tweets from laid off employees, Elon Musk purged over half of Twitter's 7,500 employee base, which impacted product policy, communications, ethical artificial intelligence, data science, engineering, and trust and safety. And trust and safety teams the most. And if you have been trying to get in touch with Twitter or X, as it's now known, you probably noticed they don't answer to emails. Nobody, nowhere to be found. You send an email to these people, even if you're paying for your premium membership, they won't reply to you. Even if they charge your card like they did to me, and they don't put that little blue check mark next to your name, they won't reply to your emails. So I don't know if that was a good decision. I mean, obviously, I guess they had a bunch of libtards working in there, and that wasn't what was the best thing for freedom of speech on the platform, obviously. That said, it doesn't end there. It goes way beyond. Um, of course, he removed people like CEO Parag Agrawal, CFO Ned Siegel, General Counsel Sean Edgett, and Head of Legal Policy Honchos Yoel Roth and Bijaja Gad, to name a few. Now, this Bijaja Gad, that lady, you know, I'm still a gentleman. I'm gonna call her a lady. Was notorious for banning Donald Trump and all of us, I guess, on that month of January. The ban didn't happen on J6. I don't think it happened on J6. I think it happened 2 days afterwards. If I'm not mistaken, the cleanse on Twitter happened on January 8th, but I might be mistaken. If any one of you knows the exact date, please post it on the chat. I might be wrong. As Musk unbanned people like Jordan Peterson and Marjorie Taylor Greene, or conservative outlets like the satirical Babylon Bee and the Gateway Pundit, many everyday conservatives remain ostracized. There's many out there who have tried to get unbanned and never got a reply. My friend Kyle is one of them. One of the first friend I made while doing this, while doing total disclosure, someone I've met since 2017. He never insults anybody. He's very proper in the way he communicates with people. He goes hard on corruption and subjects of ritual abuse and human trafficking, but he's not the person that you would ban because he's being aggressive, obnoxious, doxing, nothing of that. Never got him banned. Who knows why? I happen to be unbanned, but I'm heavily shadow banned. So in the end, I don't think paying Mr. Elon Musk 10 euros for my blue check mark is worth it. And in fact, since I'm not a hypocrite, I just canceled my premium membership, and my blue check mark will disappear tomorrow or perhaps Tuesday because my membership expires tomorrow. So I don't know how that's going to go. I'm just not going to support anything Elon Musk related moving forward. And that's my personal choice. You can do as you wish. Musk has adopted the role of judge, jury, and executioner in the cases of Kanye West, now known as Ye, and InfoWars founder Alex Jones. When asked why he wouldn't reinstate the latter, the entrepreneur tweeted, My firstborn child died in my arms. I felt his last heartbeat. I have no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics, or fame. Obviously, Sandy Hook was I cannot say it out loud because I guess YouTube is against that, but you can catch my drift, can you? Now, lots have changed since then, as Jones has been reinstated and just had a meltdown last night over the criticism against Musk. So let's check that out.
What the hell? And he's exposing Jeffrey Epstein and the CIA. Hell, last week he put out tweets about the CIA at war with America. God almighty. Jones sold out retweeting that. God, I apologize to all of you. I'm sorry. I sold out. I tried to stop the pedophile rings, the giant Muslim kidnapping rings. I'm sorry. I kissed Elon Musk's ass. We're so close to getting the globalists. I want their throats. I want victory. And now you can see it. And you guys think you're going to harass Elon Musk and push him off of supporting Trump and divide Trump and Elon? You're not. We have already beaten your ass. Oh, let's continue.
Crazy, huh? He seems to have lost a lot of weight. I mean, my wife told me that there's a drug that now you can inject yourself to get like super thin in like weeks. I don't know if that's the case. I don't want to enter into clone and replacement territory. That gets dicey because there's no evidence of it besides the clear difference in appearance. Let me see because I think I'm stuck. I'm stuck in here. Okay. Rumble Studios is a bit tricky today, so bear with me. There's this tweet that I also want to show you. Okay, here it is. Let me zoom it for you guys so you can read it. Elon is getting more done in the fight against the neoliberal globalist tyranny than anyone except for Donald Trump in the last 100 years. Elon Musk is the game changer. I am proud to back the 95% of Musk agenda that I know is dead on. What's the remaining 5%, I wonder? It's concerning. I have a question here in regards to Bill Hicks becoming Alex Jones. I think that's a possibility. I saw a very compelling video on YouTube and BitChute a while ago that made a fair case for it. And even though, well, they do look alike, they do look very similar, to be honest. And it seems like the timeline matches too, so it's a bit crazy. I've always been a bit uh, reluctant to accept this replacement clones, using masks, actors, all these things, except when it comes to crisis actors, of course, which is pretty obvious. But I don't deny the possibility of that, the Bumas, and I think I would be inclined to believe that's the case 75%. The remaining 25%, I would like to see more evidence that supports that theory, but I think it seems likely. Seems fairly likely. Um, I think I saw that video that you shared on your channel. I think I also saw that, and it reminded me of the video that I had seen before. I think I saw it like 3 or 4 months ago. It wasn't that long ago. Um, Time to get armed. That's right, folks. Get organized with your neighbors, especially in small villages, small towns. Talk to each other. Make notes of the strange presences in your neighborhoods. You know what I'm talking about. The usual suspects. Once you organize, if law enforcement fails to act, there's easy ways to make stuff happen. I'm not going to say more than I need to say. Okay? Now, there's tons of weaponry that you can acquire that doesn't need permits, and you can get creative as well. Ladies, if you have a husband that it's at repairing things at home, is that some sort of handyman? I bet he can get creative too, especially here in Europe, where guns are long gone. In America, especially in the red states, you guys have it real good. I can still get an AR-15 here, but I need to get some permits going on. And not to say I would never have an illegal firearm. If you heard that I have one, it's a lie. It's probably a conspiracy theory. I would never do that, and I would never advise you to do that either. Okay, that said, remember when Elon started to get dicey on the censorship thing when he banned Kanye because he posted, well, he banned him and unbanned him like 3 or 4 times. And then the rapper tweeted a picture of a swastika merged with the Star of David, equating Nazism with Zionism, and that was the last drop. But was Kanye wrong in making that comparison? I think there are way worse things on Twitter right now. I'm sorry, X, that warrant people to be banned, and they're not. Scammers, crypto bros, promoting uh, pump and dump schemes, like the Tate brothers, for example, like the Hawk Tuah girl who stole millions of dollars from people with a fraudulent crypto NFT, whatever, on a pump and dump scheme. How about all those prostitutes and OnlyFans girls spamming on every single post on X? Why are those people not gone? I mean, call me a prude, but I'm fed up of clicking on one post to see what I can gather on the comments, because usually you get the tweet and then you click on it and you get the comments, a bunch of informed people posting more intel about the subject matter. Instead, I get a prostitute thirsty for money, a gold digger, begging men, uh, simps, to go on her OnlyFans page and, I don't know, pay $3 for a nudie pic. It's pathetic. And it should be banned from the internet. I'm so tired of this fucking. I'm sorry, I said I wasn't gonna curse. Of this freaking porn stuff everywhere. Tired, 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 tired. Uh, I mean, some of you understand me. I know you do. The block is filled. That's the concern, the Bumas, and there's this situation. As Absolute Matt also said, that her neighborhood is full of Hindus and Muslims. I bet. My concern is that most people here in my neighborhood, in my village, are old people, very old. They are past their prime. They are now in no conditions to fight back, and most young people that I see, they seem a bit distracted. They seem a bit unengaged. In the capitals is way worse. Lisbon is a dump. I'm sorry, I love Portugal, which is my country now, but Lisbon is a dump. Alentejo, beautiful place. On the winter, so because it's even colder than Lisbon, and I'm already sick of the winter. I need some sun. So let's continue with Elon. To get a clearer picture, looking deeper into Elon Musk is necessary. So here we're gonna start dissecting Elon Musk's companies and his agenda. You know, he started his tech journey with his brother Kimball. Zip2 was a company that provided unlicensed online city guide software to newspapers. The company was founded in Palo Alto, California, as Global Link Information Network in 1995 by Greg Curry and the South African siblings. They found angel investors and turned it into a successful company, later selling to computer makers Compaq in 1999 for a whopping $307 million. Hello, Jody. Welcome. And yeah, the Combit, guys, all I can tell you in regards, I hate to be, but people are chatting, so I feel like I need to address those things. Stay out of the rain of the rainwater. Yeah, my X score is gonna go to minus something tonight. That's for sure. And I'm actually, if you go to X and I'm following every single account that is criticizing Elon Musk for the right reasons, and every single account that likes my posts criticizing Elon. I don't care if it's an unknown person in Timbuktu with 2 followers. I'm gonna follow you back. Because why? Because I care about these people. These people are my brothers and sisters from different mothers. They are awake. Their minds are open. They are not binded by this cult of personality, which has mentally enslaved many of our brothers and sisters, and I'm fed up with it. It's just defeating to see people I care about to be deceived. Nobody likes to see that. As far as the pandemic 2.0, which might hit us this year, Bill Gates already said that if somehow we avoid World War III, we're certainly going to be hit by a second pandemic. We know what that means, especially coming from Mr. Gates. So my advice is stay out of the rainwater, stay out of the fog. I don't believe in virology anymore. I used to, and now I believe that viruses, because of personal experience, mostly, and for obviously things that I've seen, research, stuff like that, viruses are not passed from people to people the way they have told you for years. It's just not the way it is. Viruses are supposed to be the body cleansing itself. Of course, something different happens when something is directly put into your body via injections, could be your food, it could be your water supply, it could be the weather getting into direct contact with your nostrils, with your mouth, with your eyes. So be really careful with that. Listen, with that experience, I never get sick. I get sick once or twice a year, usually once, and it usually takes me 2 days, 3 days, and I'm out of it. I got sick actually a month ago, and Lua was concerned. Lua is my wife, because I had fever and it was heavy. She said, "Oh, you're gonna get it heavy," and I said, don't worry. So I'll be fine in 2 days." And in 2 days, I was fine because I keep myself healthy. I eat very well. I eat raw garlic almost every day, as a preemptive measure. I also enjoy it. I cook my steaks. I don't like cooking my garlic. I put it raw on top of the meat. And that's how I get it. I also happen to love ginger tea. And, Just keep drinking water, doing some exercise, lifting weights here and there, walking, laughing, enjoying, having a good life, despite of what's going around the world, which is not pretty, but you have to enjoy your life anyways. But yes, stay out of the water. Last year, I'm talking late 2022. I got wet. I was actually picking my gym equipment. I ordered some weights via, I don't know if it was Amazon or some other retailer, and I had to go and pick them up at this store, and I got completely doused with rainwater. And I arrived home, and I immediately started feeling very bad, and I was sick for a month and a half. The worst throat infection I ever had in my life. It was out of the ordinary. And I swear on my father's grave, well, I shouldn't do that, but I'm convinced it was the rain. I wasn't in contact with nobody. That I took an Uber. I don't even when I lived in Lisbon, I didn't do public transportation just because I don't want to punch people. People are so rude nowadays, especially the usual suspects, that I just avoid getting into crowds, getting into public transportation, just because I don't want to be arrested. And that's a sad state of affairs where you cannot go out because you know someone will push your buttons to do something that you don't want to do. Now, Elon sold Elon and his brother sold this company to Compaq for $300 million. Then Elon Musk founded an online financial services company called X.com, which he later merged with Confinity, founded by Peter Thiel, giving birth to PayPal. So that's how PayPal came to be, thanks to Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Goodbye, Buma. Enjoy dinner. Be well. We'll talk later. Thank you for being here. Now, the Peter Thiel Association, it's murky at best. As a former Trump delegate and Gawker bankrupter, Peter Thiel is no stranger to desires for eternal life, seemingly at any cost. And I quote, "I stand against confiscatory taxes, totalitarian collectives, and the ideology of the inevitability of the death of every individual." On Bloomberg Television in 2014, Thiel explained that he was taking human growth hormone pills as part of his plan to live 120 years. Nice. It helps maintain muscle mass, so you're much less likely to get bone injuries, arthritis, he said. Jeff Bercovici of Inc. magazine published part of an interview with Thiel, in which Palantir, correct, Mama Bear, you are on it, in which the venture capitalist explains that he's interested in parabiosis, which includes getting blood transfusions from a younger person as a means of improving health and potentially reversing aging. Where have we heard about this before? And if this is what Peter Thiel admits he does in public, what do you think Peter Thiel is willing to pay to do in private? I mean, let's assume that he doesn't. But if he does, that's just reproachable, criminal, disgusting. Thiel seems interested in the techniques of Jesse Carmazin, the founder of Ambrosia LLC, a company looking for volunteers over 35 to receive blood transfusions from individuals under 25. Silicon Valley flooded with rumors of wealthy tech elites experimenting with this parabiosis. And Gawker has reported that it received a tip in June claiming that Thiel spends 40,000 per quarter to get an infusion of blood from an 18-year-old based on research conducted at Stanford on extending the lives of mice. Can we make sure these people are over 18? Hello, Julie. Very happy to have you here. No worries. We're just getting started. It's just 1 hour past the starting point, but we're gonna go deep tonight, so it's gonna be probably 3 hours. Um, so let me. I forgot to take this out. I apologize. I just get carried away, uh, get too emotional, and that's one of the things that you know. If you guys can remind me that I'm actually on a live stream and not only screaming at the wall, that would be nice. I appreciate it. So, 40,000 per quarter. Thiel has invested in companies like StemCentrix, which seeks to use stem cell technology to cure cancer, and he has given $6 million to biomedical gerontologist Aubrey de Grey's Sense Foundation, which aims to extend human lifespans. Stanford, MK Ultra Central, you're correct. Just like Fort Bragg, which has been now on in vogue with all these weird events, killers who spend time in that military base. What's happening in Fort Bragg? But it's funny because they always try to pinpoint one location, whereas we know there are over 20 facilities in the States where mind control programs are being performed. And don't even mention Canada, you know. Canada is gravy for that. Thiel also signed up with cryogenics company Alcor to be deep frozen when or if he dies. Thiel has said there are three ways to approach death. You can accept it, you can deny it, or you can fight it. I think our society is dominated by people who are into denial or acceptance, and I prefer to fight it. Such a trailblazer. In addition to being a mother vampire, because that's what he is, Thiel made the first outside investments in Facebook, another social media juggernaut now known as Meta. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk have known each other for decades. Since then, the relationship has seen many ups and downs, and their net worths have grown by billions of dollars. And we're going to see how connected are, well, actually, how Elon Musk introduced Mark Zuckerberg to Jeffrey Epstein. But that's coming towards the end, just to give you a bit of a teaser to get you excited. Thiel is a self described conservative libertarian. I don't agree. I am a conservative libertarian. That guy is a libertarian capitalist satanist, I would say. But recently, he has espoused support for national conservatism and criticized economically liberal attitudes towards free trade and big tech. However, can you trust a man obsessed with living forever, all the while getting a fix of blood every now and then, or perhaps on the regular? At one point, PayPal was named one of the worst business ideas of 1999. At the time, Musk was removed from his role as CEO while on honeymoon in 2000 and was replaced by the board with Thiel. eBay, the online auction service, bought PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion of equity shares, making Musk the holder of $165 million worth of eBay shares. Now, legend says Mus- that Elon Musk pulled almost all his early fortune and founded many companies. This is the of course the front and center story they want you to believe. And in reality, it's a bit more complicated than that. This included Tesla Motors and SpaceX. Tesla Motors provide all electric vehicles. SpaceX, or NASA 2.0, as some call it, aims to set up a colony for humans on Mars, as Musk believes that humanity has to get out of Earth dependency. Well, I guess that when you are in cahoots with demons, getting out of this plane is a must, because you don't want to go down to the end of the line and end up burning in hell. If this was not enough craziness for one man, he's also the co-founder of Neuralink and OpenAI. How much has Musk received in subsidies across his entrepreneurial career? Even though he claims he doesn't want any help from the government, his companies have gotten $4.9 billion worth of it by 2015. After that, lots more. Over the years, Musk's companies, Tesla Motors, SpaceX, and Solar City, have received billions of dollars from government loans, contracts, tax credits, and subsidies. In April 2021, NASA selected Musk's aerospace company, SpaceX, for a $2.89 billion contract to work toward landing commercial humans on the moon. Musk beat out Jeff Bezos' aerospace manufacturer, Blue Origin, for the contract, which gave NASA the use of Musk's Starship spacecraft to take astronauts from lunar orbit to the moon. And yet, I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but we cannot go to the moon. There seems to be a problem with radiation. I think it's the Van Allen belt, if I'm not mistaken. That seems to be a problem. And I cover all this on the documentary I made about the murder of Stanley Kubrick. Uh, there's the series divides in three parts: Stanley's early career, then the moon landings, the fake moon landings is the second part, and then the third part could be considered Stanley's later career, which includes films like Full Metal Jacket and Eyes Wide Shut. You can check that out on totaldisclosure.net. That's a subject for another day. But yeah, we never went to the moon, and we ain't gonna never go to the moon. Let's see. Commercial, Blue Origin. The U.S. Air Force joined in on the SpaceX action as well. In 2020, Musk's SpaceX and United Launch Alliance won two contracts for national security space launch services worth a combined $653 million to be provided between 2022 and 2027. So that money, current American taxpayer money, is being disbursed to Elon Musk. It's not that he used to get money from the government before becoming a crusader for freedom and the conservative movement. No, he still does. And the hypocrisy of Musk can be exposed in many different examples. The competition started with a US endeavor to replace Russian rocket technology. SpaceX also received $50 million in economic development subsidies from Texas in exchange for building the state's world's first commercial rocket launch pad. State and local officials granted Musk his additional requests. They also changed laws to close a public beach during launches and provided legal protections from noise complaints. Tesla also presents benefits of this crooked nature, as corporations early in the COVID pandemic Musk was tweeting against government aid for individuals when this happened. So, at the same time that he was receiving these grants, he was criticizing others for the same thing. Do you notice a pattern here? Um He tweeted, another government stimulus package is not in the best interest of the people, IMO, in my opinion, quote unquote. Tesla's July 2020 regulatory filing mentioned that the company received certain payroll related benefits but didn't specify dollar amounts. In 2016, New York State put $750 million towards Musk's planned solar panel plant in Buffalo, New York. Musk's Solar City reported in 2015 that it had received $497.5 million in direct grants from the U.S. Treasury Department. The Los Angeles Times estimated Solar City's total receipts to be higher than $1.5 billion based on the price of a solar panel and the company's reported sales. Additionally, the federal government provided tax credits covering 30% of the cost of solar photovoltaic systems, such as those installed by Solar City before 2020. That credit currently covers 26% of the cost for consumers. As of 2015, Tesla had sold $570 million in environmental credits to competitors per a federal mandate. Tax credits for consumers also help them sell more cars. In states like California, car manufacturers car manufacturers must buy the credits if they don't sell the number of zero emission cars required by mandates. The federal government offers a 7,500 tax credit that car buyers can use to shave off some of the higher cost of purchasing an electric vehicle, naturally benefiting Tesla as the industry's pioneer. The state of Nevada signed a package of bills in 2014 provided $1.3 billion in tax breaks and other incentives for Tesla. Nevada Governor Brian Sandoval wanted the electric car company to build a $5 billion lithium battery factory in his state called the Gigafactory. The deal also included tax credits and other incentives for 20 years. Reuters estimated this aspect of the deal was worth $725 million. They also projected that the company would save more than $300 million in payroll taxes, among other things, through 2024. So last year, recent history. We just came out of it. Tesla received a $465 million loan from an Energy Department program that offered to fund car companies making fuel efficient cars. All things considered, Elon's rise seems anything but organic, government aid and all. But what about his childhood? Where did Elon come from? And how could he have the right connections from the get go? Born in 1971, Elon Musk grew in Pretoria, South Africa. So, for those of you who didn't know, he ain't American. Okay? That's number one. Number one danger red flag there. Why would you want a non American dictating policy and even being involved in a government agency? Don't you have enough overachieving, smart, credible Americans who actually love their country and instead of loving money, because this charade that Elon Musk loves America as if it was its own country is just that, a facade. I'm gonna prove it to you. Let me just look this up. And let me take a small pause and see if I can share. I wanted to show you, for example, I have this channel on, on YouTube that is from this lady that is supposed to be Musk's babysitter when he was a kid. Now she has uploaded several videos. I'm gonna let me see. Revelations. There's several of them. Greg Lon. Here's what happens. Well, I have one prepared here on my playlist. Just bear with me. This one is how long? 3 minutes long. Okay, that's enough for me to take a small break. Okay, so that's Shalom Girl. And I guess I'm gonna make a brief pause to catch my breath. And this is Elon Musk's childhood nanny. And I'm gonna expand on her history and her story when we come back, okay?
Hi. God bless you. I'm Shalom Girl on YouTube. I love Jesus Christ. He saved me. I want to tell you something. I'm an old lady, kind of. I'm 55. I was born in San Francisco in 1965. When I was a girl, I was in San Francisco. I was procured and sent to work for a family. There were 3 generations. There was a boy, the boy's mother, and the boy's grandfather. They were coming from Africa. They were white as me. I thought they'd be black. They were coming from Africa. And because of something the boy did, I never told what he did. The boy did something very dark when he was very little. And I was just coming to know Jesus. And Jesus saved me. And anyway, the boy did something very dark. And I never told what he did. And then one day I asked someone in the circle, Imelda, Joaquin's mother. I asked Imelda, I said, is he the Antichrist? I was 13 years old. She didn't even blink. She said, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. So now here we are, 40 years later. Boom, that boy is the star of the world. He's the king of the world, but Jesus Christ is the king of my heart. Okay. The boy's name then was Elyon. It's changed over time. But for 40 years later, and I see that boy everywhere, and the world adores him, but he's the king of Babylon. And I'm going to call you out, choose you this day whom you will serve. Be it God, serve him. Be it the king of Babylon, serve him.
The goods for yourself. But Abram, answering the king of Sodom, I've raised my hand in an oath to Adonai, El Elyon, maker of heaven and earth, that I will not take such as a thread or a sandal thong or anything that is.
That's she still live streams. This video that I was gonna play is a bit long, so I don't want to put. I don't know where the most important parts are. It's 3 hours long. You can find her as Shalom Girl on YouTube. And for those of you asking if we can trust this woman, well, I believe that her testimony makes sense. Elon has never referred to this woman, has never denied any of the accusations. Not that he necessarily would, but it's always your own decision. If you want to believe that this woman is telling the truth, if you can connect the dots and think that it makes sense, her story makes sense, that's your call. Me personally, I believe she's legit. I've tried to reach to her, to bring her over, to have a more journalistic discussion with questions, dates, things more specific. I haven't been able to, but that's pending on the bucket list. What I can tell you is that this lady was supposedly born in one of the many families that are subservient to the bloodlines. Her parents procure her as a young girl to babysit for the Musk family. When I believe first in San Francisco and then in Canada. Back then, her name was Moon. So, unusual name in occult families. Elon was originally called El Elyon, which means the God, the only one God in Hebrew. Other translations say it means supreme God. Hebrew is a bit ambiguous. Her parents were hired by May Musk, Elon's mom, and her father, Joshua N. Halderman, which, by the way, is just a variation of the Alderman last name, which is um, um, Ashkenazi, an Ashkenazi name. Who this man, this Elon's grandpa, was an American-born Canadian South African chiropractor, aviator, and politician. He became involved in Canadian politics back in the technocracy movement before moving to South Africa in 1950. In 1941, he resigned from that group and for 2 years attempted to form his political party, publishing a newsletter titled Total War and Defense. In 1943, he joined the Social Credit Party of Canada. He served as the leader of this Social Credit Party of Saskatchewan, but failed to be elected in the constituency of Yorkton in the 1948 Saskatchewan general election. She also says, I was told Elon would lead the Great Deception, now known, according to some, as the Great Awakening. Shalom Girl once asked one of May Musk's friends if Elon was the Antichrist. The woman replied, no, but he will present the mark. And when you see him do that, the Antichrist will take the stage. Well, We have always heard how the mark of the beast is supposed to be microchips inside the bodies of human beings. And what more proper example than Neuralink, um, placed directly into human beings' brains to hijack consciousness, to hijack thoughts, to hijack ideas, to hijack people's lives. Um, Child Girl also claims Elon tried to sacrifice her in the spirit world as he opened a portal to the abyss while playing with his mother's occult toys and gadgets when he was around 3, 4, 5 years old. I don't have the exact age. She stated this in a recent live stream. Again, I invite you to check her channel in search for this information. Um, this is a direct quote from Child Girl's video. Remember Rosemary's Baby? In 1978, May sent me to babysit Elon. His name was Elian, and May called herself Light. Dr. Joshua Norman Haldeman, Elon's grandfather, faked his own death in 1974 and was up to no good working with U.S. intelligence agencies. We have always seen this conjunction of intelligence agencies in between Canada, the United States, Britain with MI6, MI5, and of course, the Israeli Mossad. Um, she adds, they are part of the Illuminati and are planning a takeover. Since I started telling you the truth, my family history started being deleted off the internet. Ancestry.com, military records, school records, and the census records say my grandfather never survived World War II and sucked Dr. Joshua Norman Haldeman up, Elon Musk's grandfather. Okay? So, you want to believe this lady? Your call. I'm simply letting you know what she said. Now, in regards to Elon's childhood and how he came to be, this is important as well. He grew up in Pretoria, South Africa, and the son of May Musk, a model and dietitian from Canada, and Errol Musk, a South African pilot, sailor, diamond trafficker, and electromechanical engineer with a penchant for real estate. Elon made his way from Canada to the United States as a transfer student before attending the Wharton School and becoming the billionaire technocrat he is today. According to him, his father Errol has a genius level IQ and was reportedly the youngest to earn a professional engineer's qualification in South Africa, according to a 2017 Rolling Stone interview. In the mid 1980s, Errol and his co pilot got word that their original flight plan cost a lot of money. Quote, we were going to fly into Jeddah, and there was a religious holiday, and they said, if we come in now, we have to pay $2,000, but if we wait 10 days, we can come in at no charge. So we decided to head back to Lake Tanganyika, where we were in Djibouti. There, the two South Africans ran into a group of Italians who, as it happened, were in the market for an airplane. Errol named his price and a deal was done. So we went to this guy's prefab and he opened his safe and there were just stacks of money and he paid me out 80,000 pounds. It was huge amount of money back then, he said. Standing with the cash in hand, Errol was made another offer he couldn't refuse. Would he like to buy half an emerald mine for half of his new riches? I said, "Oh, all right." So I became a half owner of the mine, and we got emeralds for the next 6 years. Errol employed a cutter in Johannesburg and sold the stones wherever his travels as an engineer or family holidays took him. Okay? So, while Elon Musk repeatedly denies this claim and seems to have been relatively successful in getting the evidence of this screw, well, there's an archive on the internet, so we can find it. It will never go away. The reality is that both he and his sibling Kimball have gone on record mentioning their father's stake in an emerald mine in Zambia. Elon admitted to it in an interview with Forbes, which has since been deleted but is still easily accessible using the Wayback Machine. In 2014, before he was front and center, he was happy to admit this, but once criticism started to flow in, he changed his story, as usual. Errol was also a city councilor in Pretoria in the 1970s, having run with an anti apartheid affiliation. Today, Musk and Errol are estranged. The Tesla CEO told Rolling Stone that his father is a terrible human being. You have no idea how bad he is, he said. Almost every crime you can possibly think of, he has done. So I'll give you an example. After divorcing May Musk, Errol, I believe he remarried once or twice after May Musk, and then he had a stepdaughter. He has now married his stepdaughter and has babies with her. So, all in all, incest and all, is all in the family. May Musk was married to Errol until 1979, and she described the relationship as abusive. After the divorce, Elon lived mostly with his father until he left South Africa at age 17, partly to avoid conscription in the South African army. So we have a dodger. This is a man that would probably also go out of his way to dodge a draft in the United States if he was born there. So, nice example. After they divorced, May moved to Canada with her 3 children, where she built a business as a dietitian. According to his father, Elon, then probably 16 years old, and his brother Kimball decided to sell emeralds to Tiffany and Company on Fifth Avenue in New York, one of the world's most famous jewelers. As his fathers lay sleeping, they just walked into Tiffany's and said, "Do you want to buy some emeralds?" Errol recalled in an interview with Business Insider South Africa. So all this is documented. And they sold 2 emeralds. One was for $800, and I think the other one was for $1,200. A few days later, the family returned to the store to find that Tiffany was selling the $800 emerald, now set in a ring, for $24,000. So, not such a great businessman in the beginning, I guess. A markup of 30 times the price Elon had received for the gem. Diamond trafficking always linked to child trafficking. That is correct, my friend. Errol was surprised but not concerned by the incident. Errol says, because money was plentiful. So he didn't mind. These rich people, what's $24,000? Not such a big deal, right? He said, we had so much money that at times we couldn't even close our safe. Poor guys, to live so tight. While in Canada, Elon attended Queen's University. May Musk has been modeling for over 5 decades. Since age 15, she has appeared on boxes of Special K cereal and the cover of Time magazine, and have walked in shows at New York Fashion Week. In 2017, Musk became a CoverGirl spokesperson at age 69. The lady seems to be part of the cult. Go and look for her pictures on this cover on the cover of these magazines. The one eye symbolism is prevalent. I have them in my archives. I'm not gonna show them there. I'm not gonna show them here. But eventually, if I make a documentary with all this information plus what much more that I have in my archives, you will see it there, and that's a possibility. I'm still thinking about it for this 2025. May's father, the chiropractor Joshua Haldeman, earned a place in the political history of Canada thanks to his service as research director for Technocracy Incorporated and his national chairmanship of the Social Credit Party during the Second World War. His vocal opposition to communism during the war briefly landed him in jail, and while many others didn't get arrested, Elon's grandfather wasn't so lucky. In the end, he was let go, all charges dropped, fostering all kinds of suspicion. Did he make a deal? He fathered May and Kay, which are twins. Elon's mom is a twin. In 1948, after marrying his second wife, he had a total of 5 children. Um, he would then take his family on expeditions to the Kalahari Desert of South Africa, searching for a lost civilization that many revisionists and alternative historians consider part of the ancient city of Atlantis. So, all these beliefs in the occult, all this search for for their Nephilim uh, ancestors, I guess, comes from way back, at least from his grandfather. Um, May is rumored to have practiced African witchcraft, voodoo, and whatnot, which is plausible given that she moved to South Africa and lived there for many years of her youth. May appears in the Haunted video by Beyonce. Not something nice to have for a 69, 70-year-old woman to be appearing on demonic music videos. A few months back, the 74-year-old model arrived with her son. I guess this was 2 years ago, so she must be 75 or 76 now. Um, at arrived with her son at a supermodel and former Jeffrey Epstein's procurer Heidi Klum's Halloween party. This is very interesting. Heidi Klum is supposed to throw the best Halloween parties. She has lots of symbolism with pizza, which symbolizes to CP, cheese pizza, child pornography. That was all revealed with the Pizzagate controversy. Heidi Klum was unfaithful to her former husband, pop singer Seal, with Martin Kirsten, Chris Cornell's bodyguard, and the last man to see the singer alive, and arguably one of his killers. The same Martin Kirsten that was the part-time driver for Jeffrey Epstein when he was in California or in the West Coast. So everything is connected. Every single thing is connected. If you go and look into the pictures, well, first of all, Heidi Klum is super close with Naomi Campbell. We all know the problems around Naomi Campbell. If you go search for the pictures of these parties, Halloween parties, you can see Heidi Klum throwing parties for Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, who again happens to be the godmother of Tony Cornell, the daughter of Chris Cornell. And we all know what happened there, right? The guy got silenced. He knew too much. He was fed up. He was about to expose things. And then he got suicided by using a red exercise band and hanging from a door, not a doorknob, but close enough, at the Detroit MGM Grand Hotel. Um, the leather outfit that Elon Musk used for the party cost $7,500 and featured a Baphomet in the chest and upside down crosses in the sleeves and legs. Contrary to some beliefs that Elon is a white hat, if there is such a thing, it seems more likely that the entrepreneur was a child of the Illuminati, groomed for a bigger purpose. Okay, then we have the Shalom Girl story, and now we move to our current controversy with Elon Musk and Vivek Rasma, whatever his last name is. I don't do Hindu last names very well. So of course the controversy now is with the H-1B visas for qualified workers, right? So Tesla has replaced some of its US employees who were let go as part of a big wave of layoffs earlier last year with foreign workers using H-1B visas, which CEO Elon Musk is now campaigning to increase, along with Vivek. Over the last weeks, Musk has promoted the increase of these visas, which are used to bring foreign workers into the US for specialty occupations. A company must sponsor qualified foreign workers who wish to work in the US to obtain the H-1B visa. As the sponsor, the company must demonstrate that the foreign workers' skills are unique and necessary for their operations. However, this doesn't happen like this. As we know, the system is broken, the system is corrupt. This proof that these employees that are being brought from India, from Pakistan, from wherever it may be, they are not better than the workers that were already working for Tesla, American workers. The visa, which lasts 3 years, is extendable to 6 years, after which the holder needs to reapply. The H-1B visa system has faced criticism for its employment requirements. The visa holder must maintain employment at the visa sponsor to retain the work visa. So this is more or less, okay, no cuts. This is a modern slavery at works. This is human trafficking. This is it's not like these employees can get a better offer. No, they are bound to their original employer, so the company can hold them hostage for a lower salary and deny all kinds of rights. So they stay in line and are able to stay in the country, which of course benefits big tech in a great way. This has led to criticism as it gives tremendous power to the employer and can lead to a modern version of indentured servitude. In this situation, the worker is bound to the employer and has limited rights or freedom. While the influx of skilled workers through H-1B visas can be beneficial, it raises ethical concerns. These workers are often paid less than their US counterparts, leading to a downward pressure on compensation, particularly in the tech industry. This, coupled with the moral implications of visa sponsorship, has sparked a heated debate among the public. That is why the US Congress has mandated a 65,000 visa cap limiting the number of H-1 visas issued each fiscal year, plus an extra 20,000 for foreign students coming from graduate programs at US universities. Tesla has been a big user of these visas and its CEO, Elon Musk, has been using his newfound political influence to promote increasing the cap of these visas. However, he received significant pushback, thank God, from his new friends on the right side of the political spectrum in the United States. They see and I see the H1B visas being used to steal jobs from Americans, a sentiment that has been growing in recent years due to concerns about job security and wage suppression. Elon is quite passionate about exploiting people and making more money, not about making America great again. Elon Musk, okay, this is something that I need to show you the image because this is something that for me is very telling. First of all, no matter if you're a small potatoes in the world, as far as influence goes, as far as your political position goes, you just don't talk this way. And for someone in Elon Musk's position to talk this way, well, it leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, this is the tweet that Elon published, a week ago, on the 27th of December, just before New Year's. He says, "The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H1B. Take a big step back and fuck yourself in the face." Nice, huh? "I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. In other words, shut your mouth, you common man. You have no saying in what we're gonna do. You are small fries. I'm the billionaire here. See you later, struggler. Thank you for being here, man. Love you. Thank you. We'll talk later." Uh, Guys, I don't know, but how can you admire someone that talks to you like this? This is no way to talk to people. This is no way to talk to your hosts. Elon, even if he has, I mean, I guess he has a double citizenship now. Is he South African slash Canadian slash American now? This is completely disrespectful. And I'm gonna fact check Elon now because Elon Musk did not come to the United States on an H1B visa. That's a lie. He came on a student visa, which is a completely different thing. And on top of that, his brother Kimball, you know, Kimball is the weakest link. A lot of the things that we can expose about Epstein and Musk come through Kimball. Admitted that they were illegal migrants in the early days of launching their SIP2 startup in the United States. So that's nice. He now talks against illegal migration while he himself was illegal. And coming illegally to Europe and coming illegally to America is a crime. We have laws and we have borders for many reasons. And those reasons are not to be ignored. To add insult to injury, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have essentially said American workers are lazy and entitled. So they would instead import workers from countries with, I would say, more hardworking cultures, such as India. Do we really think that Indians are more hardworking than Americans? Where did that come from? Honestly, like, I can understand that woke culture has put a stain in how America is perceived in the rest of the world. You know, some people think that America has grown weak because of the prevalence of woke culture. But we all know that's not America. America is not what we see on television necessarily. America, the hardworking American men and women, are nowhere to be seen. They're not shown by the media. The media don't want you to notice, and acknowledge these people. So that's complete bollocks. You're never going to convince me that replacing senior American engineers who have a proper salary with $9 an hour engineers from India is going to benefit quality, and it's going to benefit the market, and it's going to benefit America overall. It doesn't make any sense. And they're trying to spin it by saying that you just don't know what you're talking about. They are insulting you and diminishing your God given right to decide what happens in your own land, in your own backyard. A foreigner from South Africa who happens to be a billionaire, DARPA funded, Illuminati funded, be it as it may, he has no saying. Nobody voted for Elon Musk. People voted for Donald Trump. As far as I know, that wasn't a combo. And I expect better from Donald Trump. Over the last few days, several current and former Tesla workers reached out to Electrek to reveal that Tesla ramped up its use of H-1B visas to replace U.S. workers it let go during a wave of layoffs earlier this year. These are senior engineers being laid off to be replaced with cheaper, less skilled, and less experienced workers. Calergy plan, anyone? I have been exposing the Calergy plan to replace European and American white nationals, especially if they're conservative, with third world invaders. Granted, some of these people that come from other countries are good people, some of them, but a lot of them are not. A lot of them are criminals running away from their countries, not because they're being prosecuted because of political reasons, but because they're criminals. And in those countries, those Muslim countries where Sharia law is enforced, like Saudi Arabia, like Libya used to be with Gaddafi, like Iraq used to be with Saddam Hussein, those countries actually know how to handle criminals. They kept them in line. They're running away from the strict system they were born in because they cannot commit the crimes they want to commit over there. They have to commit it here in Europe or there in the United States. That's the truth. Roughly 50,000 American employees were let go at Tesla around April 2024. Every department was affected, but the layoffs were concentrated in Texas and California, where Tesla has more workers than anywhere else. Current and former Tesla employees said that many of the laid off workers were replaced by foreign workers using H-1B visas. These claims are backed by data from the U.S. Department of Labor, which shows that Tesla requested over 2,000 H-1B visas, while at the same time laying off U.S. workers. Again, there is a cap of 65,000 visas for the entire United States annually. And Tesla alone tried to get over 3% of them. Tesla workers said that many of the employees let go were senior engineers with higher compensations, and they have been replaced with junior engineers from foreign countries at a lower pay, even 40, 50, and 60% cheaper. What does that do to the markets in the United States? I wonder. Doesn't take a genius to know. This discount in wages causes a ripple effect in the average salary and directly undermining American workers in the same field. Those claiming America needs to bring in the top 0.1% of the industry are too naive, or they have special interests, as Vivek and Elon do. How did that work when the top Nazi scientists were brought in under Operation Paperclip? Oh yeah, we got NASA and MK Ultra. Here is a better solution. Listen. Ban woke ideology in colleges and invest in engineering and high-tech careers instead to improve the product, which is the graduates, the students. A wild idea, I know. Invest in education. In order to expose this imposter, a deep dive is necessary, as there is too much to expose. I don't know if this covers all of it. I don't think it does. I mean, to be honest, in my archives, I had 30 pages long. This is 10 pages of what I've written and researched personally so far on Elon Musk. So I'm giving you a third of what I found because of time restraints. And because obviously I feel there is a more efficient way to put out this information with videos and images, screenshots, and such, as we call it, evidence. Now, I want to close with the following. We have that famous picture of Elon Musk with Ghislaine Maxwell. Elon said that he never met the lady, that she was photobombing at some MTV event. Is that true? Well, let's get into it. Elon Musk's connection with Howard Lutnick, Epstein's longtime next-door neighbor and incoming Commerce Secretary, is a huge red flag. Notably, Musk's SpaceX was allegedly infiltrated by Lutnick's former next-door neighbor, intelligence asset, pedophile, and sexual blackmailer Jeffrey Epstein. Epstein reportedly introduced a member of his entourage to Musk's brother, Kimball, who was then on the board of SpaceX. That young woman, who had previously dated Epstein and lived at the 3066th Street East apartment complex, now known to have housed women Epstein trafficked, then dated Kimball Musk from 2011 to 2012. These are the apartments that we were told were owned by Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein, I believe is his name, who somehow people believe he had nothing to do with the human trafficking operation, which is nonsense. It's a complete cover-up. The Epstein case, cover-up all the way. No mention of boys trafficked, no mention of Epstein's ordeals in Haiti, no mention of Ghislaine Maxwell's compound in Venezuela, in Isla de la Uchila, no mention of Epstein's links to John of God, João de Teixeira Farias, the Brazilian baby trafficker who abused over 300 women, bred them like animals, had the babies, sold them for up to $50,000 to wealthy Europeans, Middle Easterns, and Americans from the bloodlines and beyond. And once the women were so used up where they couldn't breathe anymore, they just dispatched them like cattle. No mention of that whatsoever on the media. No mention of the Disney boats docking on Little St. James with children. No mention of the Disney employee of one of these boats going missing on one of those trips because, God forbid, people will make associations they shouldn't do. What did she see? She must have seen something. That's why she got disappeared. No mention of Epstein bringing one of those cement asphalt trucks to the island. He paid millions of dollars to bring one of those vehicles to the island to fill up the underground tunnels with cement to hide all the evidence, all the bodies, all the bones. No mention of the FBI finding an incredible amount of forensic evidence from the shores of Little St. James Island. Bones, children. Of course, he was only trafficking teenage girls. What about all the babies trafficked from Haiti? That they did this with the participation of the Clintons, Carlos Slim, and what's his name? This Lionsgate owner, Frank Gustra. No mention of the Elpida orphanage in Greece, where Syrian children were also plucked away. Children were trafficked from everywhere, using CIA plates on Epstein planes. I don't know. I just get I get aggravated with this situation. Wow. Thank you so much, Adrian. Thank you for gifting subscriptions all around. I'm very happy. Lots of support today. I'm happy to have all of you here. This is very important information, and I hope that you can communicate this to others who are being deceived. So, Kimball, Elon's brother, who at the time was at the board of SpaceX, was dating, or was, I guess, it was his sex slave, because he used to be, it was a woman procured by Epstein. With what end? Blackmail? One can only guess. Consequently, the relationship with Kimball brought Epstein into contact with the Musk family and its businesses. This allegedly culminated in Epstein touring SpaceX facilities in 2012. We're talking years ago, 13 years ago. A claim a SpaceX attorney very belatedly denied after Business Insider first reported the incident. Kimball Musk is also on the board of another of his brother's companies, Tesla. And before his 2019 arrest, Epstein confirmed claims from sources that he was privately advising Tesla in 2018 to journalist James Stewart. After Epstein was infamous, Musk denied the claims. Per Stewart, Epstein was apparently part of the attempted deal to take Tesla private with Saudi money in 2018. Epstein was also a very close advisor at that time to the then and current de facto leader, Mohammed bin Salman. Since then, an Epstein associate turned venture capitalist, Nicole Junkerman, has become a significant investor in SpaceX. In addition, Elon Musk himself was subpoenaed as part of the now shuttered United States Virgin Islands lawsuit against the bank JP Morgan for its role in facilitating Epstein's crimes, and is known to have socialized with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on several occasions before Epstein's 2019 arrest and death later that same year. You know, how wrong was I? Back in 2019, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was waking up from my drunken slumber. I wasn't completely sober yet. It was my birthday. It was July 10th, 2019. And I open my computer, and the first thing I see is that Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested in New Jersey. Boy, I was so mistaken. I actually said to myself, wow, this is the perfect birthday gift I could ever receive. Finally, after talking about this guy for 2 or 3 years, he's being arrested. Granted, some people were exposing Epstein a lot of years before I did. But I was a bit naive back then. I thought we were en route to change things, to see accountability, to see people arrested. With Trump in office back then, my hopes were high as a kite. And fast forward 2 months later, Epstein dies in prison, according to the official version, of course, suicided. I don't believe he died in prison. I believe he was switched out. I don't think they had a reason to kill him. They just needed to. There's a bunch of weirdness there, isn't it? With the body that they showed us in the pictures. And of course, then you have Mark Epstein going to all these shows, talking about the autopsy and all the controversy. A psyop inside a psyop in between a psyop. When he got arrested, I really thought my birthday wishes were granted, and little did I know it was an illusion. Huh. Per Stewart, Epstein was apparently part of the attempted deal to take Tesla private with Saudi money in 2018. Epstein was also a very close advisor at that time to the then and current de facto leader, Mohammed bin Salman. Okay, I already read this. My apologies. In addition, Elon Musk himself was subpoenaed as part of the now shuttered. Okay, we already read this. Okay, in one such meeting, brokered by LinkedIn co founder Reid Hoffman, Musk was reported to have introduced Epstein to Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. Musk also attended the Edge Foundation's billionaire dinners, which courted up top figures in Silicon Valley and operated as a de facto front for an Epstein run influence operation for several years, coinciding with the genesis of these billionaire dinners. Furthermore, Richard Sorkin, the CEO of Elon and Kimball Musk's first company, Zip2, joined an Israeli intelligence-linked tech company headed by Ghislaine Maxwell's sister, Isabel Maxwell. This is something a lot of people forget. The sisters of Ghislaine Maxwell. All of them involved with the CIA. The systems that CIA computers use. Who gave them those operative systems? Go look into the Maxwell sisters, because they are still involved with American intelligence agencies. Shortly after the sale of Zip2 to Compaq in 1999, in addition, Musk shares some business links with Epstein Associates. For instance, a major supplier to Tesla, LS Power, via its subsidiary EVgo, I guess Electric Vehicles Go, and its affiliated hedge fund, Luminous Management, are closely linked to Jonathan Barrett, a managing director of LS Power, and has led Luminous Management since 2011. Barrett also had several other senior roles at LS Power between 2003 and 2008. Barrett is a former protege of Jeffrey Epstein's, who started his career working at Epstein's firm, J. Epstein and Company, and also became the CFO and vice president of OSA Properties, the real estate firm run by Epstein's brother Mark, and co-founded by Barrett's brother Anthony. So you see, Mark, Anthony, then you have Epstein, and this other guy. What a situation. Barrett listed his legal address for many years as being 301 66th Street East in Manhattan, an apartment complex that is a majority owned by OSA, housed many of the women actively being trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein, and was frequented by Epstein's associates, including several who stayed overnight, like former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. Ellis Power, where Barrett was top executive, has been investigated for fraudulent conveyance of assets in several bankruptcy cases. In addition, Ellis Power's founder, Mike Siegel, whose son Paul is now the firm's CEO, did business with the Buffalino crime family. Luminous Management was also the largest shareholder in Valaris, which sold $650 million in oil rigs to Musk's SpaceX in 2020. In addition, another firm closely linked to Luminous, Luminous Capital Management and the Luminous Capital Partners Master Fund, counts Alex Erskine as director. Erskine was previously a director for the Jeffrey Epstein shared financial vehicle, Liquid Funding, which Bear Stearns partially owned before its collapse during the 2008 financial crisis. During that era, Halderman formally made statements discouraging the previously prevalent anti-Semitism in the party. Okay, this is a mixed up from some other thing. Well, those are the Epstein connections. And now I wanted to show you something that, to finish off exposing Elon's hypocrisy and disdain for the common man, I want to show you a few screenshots. The most recent one was of today. So let me share this. Okay. This one he posted 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, perhaps yesterday. Algorithm tweak coming soon to promote more informational, entertaining content. We will publish the changes to XNG. Our goal is to maximize unregretted user seconds. Too much negativity is being pushed that technically grows user time, but not unregretted user time, whatever that means. So go fuck yourself in the face if you disagree with me, but you guys are being too negative, right? This tweet came a day after him telling us, disagreeing with him on the visas, to go fuck ourselves in the face. Now, today, showing more disdain and more attitude towards all of us, he said this: for the bright sparks out there, so condescending, no change has yet been made to the algorithm. If you're wondering why you're not getting more views, look in the mirror. Any changes we make will be posted publicly. So if you're getting shadow banned, go fuck yourself in the face because you're probably not worth the attention from nobody. If you're being followed by, let's say, 8,000 people, like in my case, not that many, and your posts get on average, I don't know, 100 views, 200 views, it's not your fault. It's not, I'm sorry, it's not Elon's fault. It's your fault. Look yourself in the mirror, guy. Of course. And I have more to show you. For example, and this is to close this podcast, which has been, I hope, pretty informative for all of you. Let me find this real quick. Downloads. Okay. Just in case you forgot about this, here's Elon dressed as Diablo with the Baphomet in the chest. Just Elon being Elon, you know. Nothing out of the ordinary. Okay. This is a funny one too. Okay. The reason. Okay. So I personally, you know that X has their own AI that is called Grok. So I decided to ask Grok, if X wants to limit my reach for negative posts, what are the top 5 examples of posts of mine that X considers negative? So this is what X is going to police from now on, if not already. Because I personally cannot trust Elon. He says nothing has been done to the algorithm, but I have been shadow banned for 2 years and nothing has changed. In reality, I had far more interactions before I was banned before J6. So even with Jack Dorsey, I was able to get more views, more likes, more shares than now with Musk. Based on insights from posts found on X, here are the top 5 types of posts that might be considered negative by X's algorithms on community guidelines. 1. Criticism of X's policies and management. Posts where you critique X's operational strategies, verification systems, or content moderation might be viewed negatively because they directly challenge the platform's management or policies. You know, you cannot criticize the king. We live in a monarchy now, a technocrat monarchy. Criticism of public figures. But Elon does this all the time, so is he the only one allowed to do this? Your posts that harshly criticize or attack public figures, particularly if they use inflammatory language, can be classified as negative. This includes posts targeting individuals for their actions or statements. Mea culpa. I gotta admit, when I post about Tom Hanks and Oprah and Jimmy Savile and I don't know who else, or the usual suspects who rape girls in France, Germany, and England, yes, I have some harsh words for them. I don't really tend to sugarcoat words for Burming, for people that are criminals. 3. Negative sentiment towards X's leadership. Any direct or indirect critique of leadership figures at X, like Elon Musk, could lead to reduced reach. Posts that question or mock decisions made by X's leadership might be seen as negative. Again, mea culpa. 4. Engagement in controversial discussions. Well, this is my bread and butter. I don't discuss willy nilly subjects, vanilla stuff. It's all about the controversy. We're here to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly, but especially the bad and the ugly. Posts that engage in or stir controversy, especially on sensitive topics, might be flagged as negative due to potential for creating discord or attracting negative interactions. 5. Sarcastic or negative humor. This is where I'm done. This is this is what is really gonna get my head rolling out of X. Because sarcasm cannot spend a day without it. I'm addicted to sarcasm. While humor is often appreciated, posts employing sarcasm or humor in a way that could be interpreted as negative or mocking towards X, its policies, or its users might be considered detrimental to fostering a positive community environment. So there you go. Uh, you can you cannot go against Elon or any of his commandments. If you do, I guess that you can F yourself in the face. And only Elon is allowed to criticize public figures. Only Elon is allowed to use sarcasm or irony and whatnot. I guess that, some people say that Trump chooses these people around him so we can expose them. But when I expose them, as if as as if it was Trump's will, according to these people that have these theories, I'm still in the wrong. It's become hard to be a truther, a truther. I don't like that term. After 2018, 2019, 2020, it's just it's too confusing. There's too many rules. There's too many division. There's too many different factions, and people cannot seem to agree to disagree. Today, I had an example. I sent a newsletter announcing this podcast, and I had a subscriber to my website. She had been a subscriber for perhaps a year, a little less than a year. And I had cuddled this person, you know, to extremes. When this is a person that got offended for all the time. And today she got offended because I was going to expose Elon. So she came in to the chat to say that this was Elon 2.0 and that Elon 1.0 was already gone and this was done for optics and whatnot. And I said, whatever, I'm still going to expose him. I'm not going to argue with you about this situation. And she just said, well, don't take any more of my money. I'm not a member of your website anymore because you don't think like me. And I'm like, well, that's kind of a problem because we're supposed to love freedom. We're supposed to respect other people's opinions and differences, and to focus on the substance, not the pesky, meaningless things that perhaps divide us. And some people seem to think that because they subscribe to our website or they follow me or someone else on social media, that they are entitled to decide what we can talk about or not. That's not the case. I'm sorry. I value every single one of you who follow my work and who subscribe to my website. And if you come to talk to me respectfully about it, we can have a discussion that can be, beneficial for both of us. But if you come with a bad attitude, if you come to enforce your opinion in a bad way, disrespectfully, things are not going to go well. I'm not here fighting for freedom so someone, I don't know, 9,000 miles away can tell me what to do, what to say, what to think. And if you are one of those people, you might not love freedom as you think. You might be a tyrant inside out. Me personally, I feel sad when people are deceived. I feel sometimes I feel angry, but I'm not gonna come to you and insult you or try to um, gaslight you into thinking as I do. And this is something that we all need to take a step back and look in the mirror and ask ourselves, do we really believe in freedom? Do we really respect boundaries of others? Do we really want to foster critical thinking? Because a lot of people in this movement are confused and they seem to believe that they have a mission to convert everyone into thinking or believing what they believe in. And I don't know where that how that came to be. It's being a prevalent problem in the movement where people want to enforce others to think as they do, to say as they will. And this is not going to take us to nowhere positive. Again, I love you all. I appreciate you wherever you are, whatever you came from. But we must learn to disagree in a respectful manner. And I guess, that's my message for the day, and something that I want you to think about once this stream is over. Tomorrow is a new day. You can, I think we can all make an effort to treat people better. If you're on X, I'm not gonna probably last for long there, but if you are there, if you have one follower, two followers, reach out. I want to follow you back. I appreciate all of you. God bless you all. Christ is King, and we're not gonna take it anymore. We're not gonna take the tyranny. We're not gonna take the censorship, and we're not gonna take the abuse anymore. So if you want to fight it, come and take it. I'm done playing nice. I've been trying to refrain myself from arguments for too long, but in the end, the result is always the same. When people don't get it their way, they get angry and they insult you and they go away. It's time to fight back. And those of you who don't want to fight back and want to wait for a savior, please stand aside, give us space so we can fight. I don't think we have much time left. But even if that's the case, even if we cannot get out of this mess without divine intervention, I'll take the divine intervention. You know, I know that some of you are not Christian. I know that some of you don't do that, don't play that game. My Rumble Studios just failed, but I'll leave you with that message. I'm gonna go and have a dinner, and gonna probably make some homemade burgers. It's Sunday burgers here at the Total Disclosure headquarters. Again, I wish you the best. Don't take anything I say personal, please, and go and spend a nice time with your family, friends, or your special significant other. Go and live life, be happy, keep yourself informed, but don't let this bullshit dictate how you enjoy your life or how you ambition and create your future. Much love to you all. Stay well, stay safe.